Lock and load, everyone. It's time to talk about the PlayStation Move Sharpshooter attachment. PlayStation's fun gun-toting accessory for the PlayStation Move controller. In today's gaming landscape, we have tons of immersive experiences thanks to VR, right? Taking it back to 2011, we weren't quite there yet with the technology, and the best way to get immersive experiences was using motion controls. You can thank the Nintendo Wii for that one. But I'm going to save a deeper discussion into the PlayStation and its motion controls for a future video, so be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for that one. Today, it's all about the Sharpshooter attachment, released in 2011 alongside the launch of Killzone 3. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta tell you, I still am, a huge fan of weird and, dare I say, gimmicky peripherals like this. I get so excited if there's a new, fun way to play a game. So when Sony announced this attachment for the PlayStation Move, I was immediately on board. You're telling me I get to experience the hotly anticipated Killzone 3 with a gun controller and actually aim down sights and shoot at the Hellgast? Sign me up. For this video, we are revisiting the same sharpshooter I got all those years ago. You could see it came with a sticker pack, and I wasted absolutely no time in decking it out. Speaking of which, I think it's time we get into the design of this bad boy. In my opinion, I think they nailed the design of this accessory. It fits well in my hands, and I love having the adjustable shoulder mount. You got your triangle and square buttons right by the trigger on either side for left or right hand users, and the move button is right below the trigger. It's all accessible, and it doesn't feel too awkward to reach for any button press. The cross and circle buttons are below next to your thumb on the navigation controller. So all in all, I never experienced a moment of where do I place my hands or fingers. It was pretty seamless for me. But the coolest part of this design is how they tackle reloading. You see, you had two options with this accessory. The classic pump reload and a button located at the bottom for a magazine style action reload. And you bet your bottom dollar I was using both of these reload functions constantly. Not because I had to reload out of necessity, but because doing it was so much damn fun. You also have this dial here to select full auto, semi-auto, and single shot shooting. I'm not sure of any game that used this feature though, but I guess it was nice for them to include it. When it comes to setting up the sharpshooter, it's pretty straightforward. The Move controller pops right in at the top with a simple release of the top cover, and the navigation controller comfortably fits at the bottom. As I mentioned, in the hands, this thing feels great, and it looks badass to boot. Look at this thing. Needless to say, for this video, I was excited to boot up some games and play using the sharpshooter. Two games that I consider the killer app for this accessory are the aforementioned Killzone 3 and Resistance 3. You had other shooter games, of course, with move support that could utilize the sharpshooter. In my opinion, these two games just felt meant to be. Now I gotta say, getting into any game with this accessory does require a bit of a learning curve. I do remember back in 2011 having to get used to the controls, so I was prepared to begin at a slow walk rather than a full sprint. That's because moving any character with the Move controllers is done in a slightly awkward way. For anyone who has played using the Move controllers, you know what I'm talking about. Here, I'll explain. With the navigation controller, we have one joystick. Great, makes sense. But looking at the Move controller, where's the other joystick? Well, the Move controller is the other joystick. That means in-game, you're using the bottom navigation controller to move the character around the map, and to look left or right or up or down requires you to move the Move controller in that direction you want the camera to pan. I know it sounds a little awkward, but you would be surprised. Both Killzone 3 and Resistance 3 allow you to adjust your dead zones, those being how far your Move controller moves within a space before it triggers the camera to pan. I like to set mine up pretty tight so that I'm not swinging my controller all over the place. After setting those up to your liking and calibrating the motion controller, which takes but a moment and a quick shot at each corner of the screen, you are in. And yes, I definitely had to take it slow at first. And I will also say that long play sessions holding up this sharpshooter will start to make your shoulders scream for a break. So I found holding it near the hip level helped alleviate a lot of this. But that moment you look down your sights and have full tactile control of the weapon and pull the trigger, something immediately clicks. all of a sudden you feel way more immersed, and taking out either the Helghast or Chimera becomes something more than just a point and shoot experience. Now, at the beginning of the video, I mentioned in today's gaming landscape, we have VR for immersive gaming experiences, right? To take gaming with this controller accessory to the next level, I decided to pair this with another initiative Sony was pushing very hard back in 2011, stereoscopic 3D. Now, lucky for you viewers here, I did already make a video talking about the PlayStation 3D gaming and their 3D display. I have a link in the description, so be sure to check that video out, after you finish watching this video, of course. Back to the games. Playing these games with the sharpshooter and 3D, honestly, it feels like the infancy of virtual reality. It's genuinely such an awesome and immersive experience. I can't say enough good things about looking down the sights of your weapon in 3D while holding the sharpshooter against your cheek to aim and take your shot. And if you get up close with an enemy, you can melee them with a jab forward of the controller. It is interesting to see how both games tackled using the sharpshooter. While they are similar, there are some notable differences. With Resistance 3, the move button is your secondary fire option for all weapon types. Throwing a grenade is as simple as pressing down on the L2 button of your navigation controller, and it supports the differing reload options on the accessories. The one disappointing fact with this game is that Insomniac does not allow you to fully aim down sights. You'll have to press and hold L1 for a zoomed in view, but we'll notice we are still using our little arrow guide on screen to pin our targets. I'm sure this decision was made because some of the guns you get access to later in the game would be a little hard to program a downsight view maybe, but it is disappointing either way, as that downsight view really takes the immersion to the next level. And I've already talked about it enough in this video, I really need to stop bringing it up. But spoiler alert, I'm gonna bring it up again in another minute here, I'm sorry. That's why I think Killzone 3 is the definitive game to use this accessory with. And I think there was a reason this controller launched alongside and was marketed with Killzone 3. This definitely is the best feeling game to use the sharpshooter in play. The move button is your crouch, and funny enough, the grenade and aim buttons are swapped from Resistance 3. So that's L1 is grenade and L2 is aim down sights. Of course, in the menu on Killzone, they allow you to swap those functions if you'd prefer. And thankfully, this game gives you the option to toggle the aim down sights as well, which is my preferred way to play. And that's another unfortunately missed feature on Resistance 3. Having the aim down sights option, in my opinion, is what makes this controller and playing with the move in general the whole point. So props to Guerrilla for really taking the sharpshooter controller in stride. To me, the PlayStation Move and the sharpshooter accessory are a well thought out experiment, offering gamers a fun and different way to interact with some of the best first-person shooters on the PlayStation 3. While this may not be the definitive way to experience these amazing games, I would say it is something worth exploring and revisiting. It adds that layer of immersion and almost arcadiness to these games. It was so fun to revisit this accessory and remember an era of Sony where we got quirky fun accessories that changed the way we played our games. And I think that was my biggest takeaway, you know? We could use a little more of that in today's gaming landscape. An injection of the PlayStation 3 era, when gaming was a little more simple, and most importantly, it was just a little bit more fun. Thank you everyone for watching, and I want to give a huge shout out. We just hit the 1,000 subscriber mark, and that is awesome. So thank you to anyone who has subscribed and is continuing to watch the videos. I really hope you're getting some enjoyment out of them. I'm definitely having a great time making them. And now I want to hear from my fellow gamers. Did you use the sharpshooter back in the day? What were your thoughts on this accessory, and what was your go-to game to play it with? Let me know in the comments. I'll catch you all in the next video. And as usual, happy gaming.